Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know it's a little later than normal, but definitely want to get into the night. Hope you're having a good evening so far. Had a good day. Want to encourage you, invite somebody in, like, share, drop a comment, let us know you're here. Got a good show for you tonight, and looking forward to what we have going on. But first, I want to take a minute, and I want to say thank you to Vibe for sponsoring tonight's episode. Definitely we'll play that again, but check out Vibe, Voices in Black Empowerment. The things that they're doing with the community, want to do with the community is kind of one of the reasons we're doing tonight's show, talking about financial literacy, having an open, honest discussion around financial planning and getting into that type of thing. So definitely appreciate them and their support. Also, for all them devil dogs out there, and for my devil pup that's in basic training right now, happy birthday to the Marine Corps. Enjoy your day. You guys have definitely earned it. Thank you all for your sacrifice, your service, and your time. But we are going to jump in to tonight's episode. As we do, as always, we like to take a look in the mirror, right? A mirror's got a few purposes. One, it shows you who you were, who you are, and who you're trying to be. So we're going to see if we can't take a look in the mirror, face the man in the mirror, take a look at our reflection, and see if we can't become better than what we started the day. So with that being said, I definitely appreciate it. We got a good show for you tonight. Like I said, I'm excited about it. I'm sure we'll probably get off topic a little bit. There's a lot of things locally going on that I may or may not mention at some point tonight or tomorrow. But again, really appreciate it. So we are going to go ahead and jump into tonight's show. Hey, so I'm excited. We do have with us Miss Telena Wesley, Miss Brittany Monroe. Definitely thank them for coming on the show tonight and giving us their time. It's a little late. Again, you guys like, share, invite somebody in. Definitely drop a note, say hello if you're in the comments, whether you're sharing it or rewatching it later. We definitely appreciate you and appreciate all the support. But we are going to take a minute tonight, and we have these two lovely young ladies that are entrepreneurs and trying to make a difference in not only their own lives, but those that they encounter. So I think that one of the things that's important, and especially in today's day and age, is that financial literacy, that financial planning. I have a friend of mine that started the house hunting process and how important that is to set you up for that and the things you have to take care of. And then with Vibe and the CEO of Vibe, Tom Malone, talking with him about the necessity of financial planning and literacy within our communities, especially in our minority communities. I think it's very important for us to get the word out. So honestly, this is just kind of like a launching pad for us to get into further conversation and deeper conversation down the road, maybe even doing a serious seminar type thing and have you guys involved in it. But thank you all so very much for your time. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Definitely. Now, I would love for you guys to tell the audience a little bit about yourselves, background, kind of, who you are, and then we can kind of go a little further and play with some of these questions we've got.
Sounds good. You want me to go
So
first?
whoever would like to go first.
Oh, you can go first, Brett.
All right. So I am a regional vice president with Primerica. I'm a mother of 4. I just had a baby on August 25th. So I'm a busy lady. I'm a wife. I'm just working to build my business and in the same time make sure that I spread an awareness about finances so that, like you said, people in our community, especially the minority community, can have a more solid future.
Definitely.
And then I got Talina on the team. Talina's going to tell you a little bit about who she is. She's working with me now. She just got licensed to be a life insurance agent, and she's promoting through our company and doing amazing. So you go ahead, Talina.
Hello, my name is Talina Wesley. I'm a district leader with Primerica. I just started about a month ago, as Britt just said. And she recruited me, and I just, the way she recruited me, she just opened up awareness to me about how I need to, help spread awareness to other people and, create generational wealth for not only myself, but for other people as well, especially for the people that's, in the predicament that I am, that, stopped working because of COVID, have kids, just had a kid and needed to be home and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, definitely. I think that one of the things that I hear both of you kind of lean towards is that, and you said it specifically, Talina, generational wealth. And with the faith background that I have coming out of the charismatic Pentecostal Kojic background, you always hear about breaking generational curses. Like you hear about breaking things, but you don't hear about setting up the generation. And so I think that's very important with what it is that you guys are doing. That opportunity. Shanika says she put in the comments, she's like generational wealth, and I think that's so important. Like a lot of times when we look at our finances, it's always right now. There's that commercial, with the settlements or the annuity payments or whatever. It's like, it's my money, I want it now. And we get caught up in the now and trying to live this lifestyle that we see on social media or that our friends portray around us. I mean, I've been the guy that's been fresh and clean, but my wallet been empty. It's been squeaky clean. But on the outside, you wouldn't know. Type of thing. And so I think it's very important that we're able to get our communities, and especially the ones that we know personally, out of those situations. So a little bit about your guys' background specifically. Like, what was it that made you decide this was the direction you wanted to go?
Well, a year ago, I was a full-time manager at Burger King, and I found out that I was pregnant, and then I ended up getting sick, so I ended up leaving work. I was kind of scared to go back to work, so I was trying to find something to work from home, and I was searching, couldn't find anything that was actually beneficial to myself and my family. So I was searching, and then Britt came into my inbox and she showed me that this wonderful opportunity. I looked into it. It took her a while to actually recruit me. It wasn't the first time that she messaged me. It was about the third time, and I heard her out because there was nothing that I had to lose. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't making any money at the time. So what did I have to lose to hear her out? So I just heard her out, and I was interested in what she was saying. And after she was done talking, I was like, "Where do I sign up?" And we just went from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about you, Miss Monroe?
I love it. I'm so proud watching her because she's so young, and it's just the importance of being able to get a financial plan together while you're young is so epic. Like I always say, I wish I would have started this earlier in life, but I came into this business honestly under kind of the same pretenses. So my husband and we moved down to Florida at the end of 2019, and we had money saved up, and we were planning to get to work, and then COVID hit. And we didn't have any more. He was working at the airport, then he got furloughed from the airport. And I was designing like dresses and clothes for proms and weddings, and proms and weddings got canceled, so our income really was depleted to nothing. And then we had a house fire. So we lost all the stuff we did have in a house
Oh,
fire. We
wow.
lost our home and everything. And then a friend introduced me to the business. And it honestly was the first time anyone's ever spoken to me about life insurance or investments or putting a financial plan into place. So I was like, this sounds interesting. And then I had thought back to the year before when, I lost my grandfather, and kind of like the turmoil it caused in the family, the trouble we had raising up money, almost not being able to even have a funeral because we couldn't afford it. And I realized how much other people are going through that with not
Mm-hmm.
having things like life insurance, and you know until they die because they never have a sufficient plan for retirement. And I realized how much the community could be impacted by this. So I was like, I feel like it's alignment. I had prayed. I prayed when we lost everything. I was like, I'm either gonna do day trading with stocks, or I don't know. I got to do something. And then I have 4 kids, so getting to work, and we just moved down here. I don't trust people with daycare, so it was a perfect opportunity, really.
Okay. Okay. Now you said you moved down to Florida. What part of Florida you moved down to?
We are in
I'm curious.
Kissimmee, Poinciana area.
Kissimmee. One of my best friends lives down there. He actually pastors down in Kissimmee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I lived in Jacksonville for a number of years, and surprisingly miss it
Yeah,
at
right.
times. But I'm definitely at home in my community here and want to do everything I can to help it, which is one of the reasons we do stuff like this, is because, we want to bring that awareness out. And I think that, a lot of times, like you guys are both talking about the business, but I think what the business offers is almost more important than the business. I think sometimes entrepreneurs feel like everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. And that's not the case. It's not for everybody. But the
Yes.
products that you guys offer and that financial peace of mind that's offered by having a financial plan, by having and setting realistic goals that make sense, by having that life insurance policy, those types of things. When you have that and you're moving in that direction, that peace of mind is, you can't put a price on that. Honestly, especially after, if you go through losing a loved one and you have to scramble to figure out how to pay for it,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's more expensive to die than it is to live. And if you're not prepared, that can be a different, a bit of a problem, and the stress, and that stress can be detrimental to your psyche, your physical health, etc. So with that being said, though, talk to us a little bit about the products that you guys do offer, and the gamut, because it's not just one thing.
Yes, we have a number of products. So we have the first thing that we kind of work towards is making sure people are covered with life insurance. So the way that our philosophy for our company goes is you buy term life insurance and you invest the rest. So the goal of life insurance should be to cover you if you die too soon, and then we tie that with investments for those who live, quote unquote, too long, right? You live past your retirement age. You want to make sure that you can accumulate that wealth and then protect your wealth using life insurance. So we definitely tie those two aspects together. We also help with things like mortgage loans. We help with referral companies we have for health insurance, for Medicare, for like elderly health care. We work with home and auto companies. We work with Vivint. So we try to make sure we keep a partnership with a bunch of companies to be able to help people in all different types of areas. But definitely, we have a strong focus on being prepared for the future and protecting your wealth.
Mm-hmm. I think, like Ty put up, he said, so true. We need to prepare. So in that time, we don't need to turn to GoFundMe. Stay prepared, not surprised.
Yeah.
And I think that, over the years, we have gotten, especially in this country, in a lot of communities, almost spoiled because we have the opportunity for a GoFundMe. So it's like, I don't need this, but GoFundMe is not a guarantee. You're relying on the goodness of people. And when the pandemic first hit, we saw how the goodness of people usually translates, and that's into no toilet paper. Folk were fighting over toilet paper. So I wouldn't rely on many people. You have to prepare for yourself. And,
Yes.
there's the story of the grasshopper and the ant. There's the tortoise and the hare. There's something to be said for slow and steady. There is something to be said for taking a risk. And I think when it comes to that, building that generational wealth, you have to have a balance there. You do have to be willing to take a little bit of risk with something that you got, but then you also have to look at, those next steps. what do I need? What can I can invest this after I make it back. Let me take my investment out and I can let the rest ride if I want to, type of thing. But with that, what do you think your most popular product would be?
It's definitely life insurance,
Life insurance?
especially in the area we live in. Yeah.
Okay.
I used to live in Rochester, New York, and
Okay.
it's very high crime rate. A lot of poverty is there. So it's important that we definitely make sure that, people are getting covered with life insurance, just because we're seeing people, like a 15-year-old was killed over the weekend. He was shot. So there's people of all ages, unfortunately, that are passing away.
Right.
So making sure that we can relieve the financial burden of funerals is definitely a focus. It sucks to say that it's a focus,
Right.
because they're so young, but we just want to make sure that we can help to get as many people covered as possible. So life insurance would be the most popular, and then we go over into investments as soon as they've got a solid comfortability with life insurance.
Okay. Talina, are you kind of seeing the same thing in your market?
Yeah, definitely with poverty and.
Okay. Ty says the rock in the house. Okay. Yeah, Ty, I don't know where D's at. D hasn't shown up yet. I don't know what's going on. I think he took the night off or something. But with that being said, ladies, real quick, we are just gonna go quick little commercial here, and then we will be right back. Again, big shout out for Vibe for sponsoring tonight's episode and what he does and what that organization does for the community. But to jump right back in, I mean, we have, like you said, the life insurance. I mean, the level of importance there. When you sit down with people and you talk to them, what is usually their biggest concern or biggest hesitation with getting into or purchasing a life insurance policy or getting into the investments? What is people's biggest concerns usually?
It's expensive.
Expensive?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they feel. That's what is kind of, I can't do it, it costs too much. That's their thought process.
That's just the first thought until you actually able to sit down and break it down to them that it's really not expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say people's the biggest concern they have is due to their lack of knowledge. They don't know what life insurance is. They don't know that it is the key to generational wealth. They don't know, like Talina said, that cost is, if you buy Starbucks once a week, you can pay for life insurance. They don't
say that again. I don't think they heard you. I really don't. I don't think they heard you. Well, because see, I'm adamant about this kind of thing. Personally, because I've seen especially being in ministry, I've seen so many families get in, they end up in such a negative position because they weren't prepared. Or, it's like my son, I don't want to leave my son a closet full of J's or Tim's. I want to leave my son a legacy. I don't want my son to have to get anything out the mud if he doesn't have to. Like, my whole job as a parent should be preparing my child to be in a better situation than I ever was.
Exactly.
And I listen to so many parents oftentimes talk about this. Oh, well, you don't have to struggle. You're right. They shouldn't. My kids shouldn't have to struggle like I struggled.
That's why I'm doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't have to.
Exactly. And I think that, going back to that phrase, that generational wealth, like I'm caught on that right now, and I don't know why tonight, but I'm caught on that because for so often, like I said, coming out of the charismatic faith, background that I have, you hear about the generational curses, but you don't ever hear about building. You don't ever hear about really leaving a legacy. And I want to leave something tangible for my son. My son, even before he graduated high school, we were having conversations about life insurance policy, about investing, about, purchasing a home. At 18 years old, he already knew what he wanted to invest in first.
Nice.
And those conversations don't happen oftentimes. And like a friend of mine, when I talk to her and she's talking about this home buying experience, she's like, man, I wish I would have been told that these things would have been, were going to be important. And like you're saying, it's Starbucks every day. It's really that cheap for most people. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I just
It's all said and done. Yeah, with $2 a day. Yeah, basically.
okay.
Depending on what type of coverage that they want. It might be $3 a day, $4 a day, but
Hmm.
everybody spends it on a daily basis,
Right. Definitely. Did we lose Brittany? I don't know if she froze, if we lost her.
I think she froze out a little bit. She's come back in.
Okay.
But yeah, not even just spending it a day. People spend that a month,
Hmm.
More important, Netflix or leaving your kids, money and be able to not have them struggle to bury you and deal with the mortgage if you had the house, you know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
the final bills that comes along with that. Because, you're going to have parents have credit cards. I have a couple credit cards. I don't want my kids to have to deal with my bill.
Hmm.
I wasn't prepared.
Right. And I worked in collections for 10, almost 15 years. And that's some of the things that you hear about, and you try to help people with is like, listen, you don't want to leave all this negative baggage. They're going to have enough to deal with trying to deal with the emotional aspect of the death, and then not only that, but the financial burden that brings. Like I said when we first started, it's not always cheaper to live. Sometimes it's cheaper to stay alive, and sometimes it's more expensive to die. And people don't realize that. And so being able to be prepared and set up is definitely important. So what do you see as far as, like, you mentioned that they think it's too expensive, once they make the determination that they're going to purchase a policy, what do you see as some of their hesitation at that point? Or are they usually kind of on board?
It depends on the person's, their financial status, what they're willing to, sacrifice. Like I was saying, is what's more important, if you have coverage on your house and your car, so your kids wouldn't have to, deal with the devastation.
Mm.
Brett probably would have more to go into that once she figures it out. But
Okay.
yeah, that's basically my thoughts into it. Like I said, I'm just getting into it, but
Hmm.
what I've seen for myself, that's what it all pretty much boils down to, is people willing to sacrifice the things that's not necessary.
Right. Yeah, sometimes, for me, I'm a real big proponent of the short-term sacrifice in order to make the long-term gain.
Right.
And if that means that I don't go to the movie theater, if I'm accustomed to going to the movie theater every week, or if I'm accustomed to going out to eat 3 times a week, well, maybe that means I only go out to eat once and go to the movies twice.
Right.
To make the benefit into what we have going on. We got Cinemascapes watching on Twitch. I got Rolling on Facebook, Ty on Facebook. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Ty asked the question. He says, and I don't know if you guys can see it there, but it says, explain the real difference in have it and not, the ways it could really help someone, because just because it's life insurance doesn't mean it's only for funerals. And that's a very important thing, very important aspect. People feel that it's just, you only have access to it if you die, and it's only for the funeral. And that's not entirely true.
Right, that's definitely true. I don't know if Brit's Brit,
Oh no, she keeps freezing up.
but yeah, no, it's not only for funerals. You can definitely use it for other expenses. Like say if you were sick, you can take out some money to cover your medical expenses as well. You can, yeah, that's, I wouldn't say you can take it out. You can go out and go take out,
Like borrow against it.
huh?
Like borrow against it.
Yeah, borrow against it for
Mhm.
like traveling expenses and such, because that's not really a need. Like a need, that's more of a want. You want
Right.
that, but you can definitely get out a loan on your own policy for mortgages and stuff like that as well.
Hmm.
Car, if you need a car, if your kids need daycare, you got to pay for that as well, and you can dip into your loan. I mean, your policy to pay for that.
Yeah, there are certain things that you can borrow against your policy for, in order to help you out. Um, Brit's having some technical problems, unfortunately, but definitely it's something. People don't really understand the different avenues that you can go and that you can use your life insurance policies for, or different retirement funds that you have. People use them for, to help them with their down payment on a house, or they have emergency situations, medical situations. There's various things that you would qualify to
Right.
be able to borrow against. So that's definitely an important aspect to pay attention to and to realize. And one thing I want to encourage people is ask questions. Ask questions. It's not. It used to get taught, oh, just have savings, just have savings. Well, sometimes just having savings alone isn't enough. Ty says use it like a savings account.
Right.
Um,
Sometimes it's not enough. So Social Security is definitely not enough. No matter how much you work.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
that falls into it as well.
Yep. Samurai Road, he's watching on Twitch. He says, appreciate you guys giving tips and info. Appreciate you tuning in, sir. Appreciate the support. Like Ty said, again, use it like a savings account. Those life insurance policies, they're important, but those other investments are important too. Because they can set you up to grow. They can set you up to make bigger moves. They can set you up. That small investment can prepare you for the big investment. But if you just live paycheck to paycheck and don't ever evaluate what you're doing, like where am I spending my money? That's important. Where am I spending the money? Why am I spending the money? Sometimes people spend frivolously because they're trying to. It's almost like a self-medicate. You know what I mean?
Right. That's where the financial plan would come into play. So you could see where your money's going. So you can see how you can invest it, and you can see how you can save it.
Exactly. Brett, you back with us?
I am back. I am so sorry. My phone it started overheating. I'm like, what?
No
I
worries
am
at
sorry.
all. No worries at all. We're glad we got you back in here. We actually just brought up, Ty was wanted to make sure that we talked a little bit about the fact that you can use life insurance policies for something other than funerals. It's not always just for funerals.
Exactly.
So Talina was sharing a little bit about that. Don't know if you want to share a piece of that for people that are listening.
Yeah. So with life insurance, there's the benefit of life insurance is to start leaving generational wealth. So I mean, if you're someone like Talina, if you're in your 20s, you can literally leave behind your family hundreds of thousands for like $20, $30 a month. The idea behind that is so that we start to lift ourselves out of a bracket of, like, for black people, our average income is 17,000 a year. For a Caucasian family who's more wealthy, they're literally 10 times more. So if we're leaving behind wealth and we're passing down wealth each generation, then you're seeing wealth be passed down. You're starting off from a higher, you have a higher position
Hmm.
financially. But then there's policies, there's added things in the policy also that benefit you, other than having to use your life insurance when you pass away. Like our policies, they're gonna, if you become disabled, we cover the costs for people who have disabilities so that they don't lose life insurance because you're unable to work. um, we have a terminal illness rider, meaning, you, God forbid, you have a terminal illness, we're going to make sure, we make 70% of your policy available for you, because we also know a huge issue is, people having access to money for medical. So we
Hmm.
don't want things like terminal illness and you not getting the proper treatment to be something that's, stopping you from living longer. But our policies cover that terminal illness benefit. So there's so many things life insurance can do for you. I truly believe it can really start to bring us out of a place where we don't have to be dependent on, assistance. We don't have to live in areas where schooling isn't good, because we'll have the income to eliminate all of that if we all just collectively put, things like life insurance and investments in place.
Hmm. And I know that's one thing that you like tie with Vibe. That's a big focus of theirs, that financial literacy, that education,
Yeah.
making sure people are informed. And, sometimes it's hard to get informed because you don't know where to go.
Yeah,
You
true.
don't know what questions to ask. And most people that are outside of the minority community, if they're the resource and they're approached, they're not going to answer, or they're not going to give you free game.
Yeah.
They're only going to answer the questions you ask, and they're only going to answer it with minimal information.
Very much so.
That's just the reality behind it. And people can argue it if they want to, but at the end of the day, a man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with an argument.
Yep.
And as much as we want to say there's an equal playing field there, unfortunately there's not.
It's not.
And so it's so important that we're helping individuals educate themselves, regardless of what decision they end up making. At least make the information available to them.
Yep. That's what
You
I
know.
always say. At least
Mhm.
give them, I can teach you how to fish, but it's up to you to make something with it.
Exactly, exactly. So I had asked Talina before you had froze up, when individuals get past that moment of, oh, it's too expensive, oh, I can't pay for it. Cinema Scape says exactly. He's definitely an individual that you can't argue experience. I appreciate him tuning in and chiming in, because he's definitely got a wealth of that. But I had asked Talina, after they get past the I can't afford it, and you show them that it is affordable. These are options. There are policies that are affordable. What then is the biggest challenge for an individual? Let's say they even purchase the policy. What then becomes the person's next challenge to overcome?
Remembering that you paying your policy for 1 month does not mean you're going to be covered forever. So it's the challenge
Okay.
of remembering why you got life insurance, and remembering that, this is an investment. This is a literally a lifelong investment. You're going to pay for life insurance until you pass away, but helping them to see the goal is that, you know, the goal is to make sure that while you're on your journey and you're tackling your goals and you're tackling your dreams and accomplishments, that if anything happens to you, your family, your children still need your finances, especially if they depend on your income. So they're still going to need to be taken care of. And
Hmm.
I think people, they get life insurance, and if we don't work well enough to give them the value of it, or if they don't see the value of it, then when they're stuck in a pinch, um life insurance unfortunately is one of those first to go.
Okay. So, do either of you have? Shanika says, she says accountability, responsibility. I
Hmm.
think that's huge. There's a lot of what's important, and
Yeah.
the why. Like you said, you have to remember your why, because myself personally, the amount of time I spend working, when I want something, I want it. You know, but if I have a larger goal in mind that requires my financial attention and my financial responsibility, it's I have to make that decision. What's more important? you know, and for me, legacy is more important. For me, making sure that I'm leaving that generational wealth, that I'm building something or having the availability to build,
Yes.
you know, is hugely important to me. So success stories, like whether it be yourselves or people you've encountered that, you know, they've sat down and they've done a, you know, gone through some financial planning and budgeting even, and you know, their situation has kind of gone from night to day.
Yeah, I think I definitely would be my own success story.
Okay.
um, Throughout my life, my husband and I haven't had trouble creating income. He's a professional athlete. He's a boxer, so he gets paid really good for what he does. But
Okay.
prior to me coming to Primerica, we would have money, and then a year later, it's like, where did that go? We don't have anything to show for it. We don't have anything saved. So that's why when like COVID hit us, it was like, dang, we thought income would keep coming in. No, we were expecting fights to come in because who knew actual sports would be shut down, right?
Mm,
That's when I knew it was real. And NBA
right.
is not, no more. And Disney World is closed. I was like, what? But being here, I definitely made sure that I practiced what I was showing others. I made sure that I was investing 20% of my income. I made sure that I paid myself first. That's a really huge thing. People need to pay yourself first. And then, budget what's comfortable for you. Obviously, do a budget, but make sure you every time you get paid, you pay yourself for the future. So I started to apply that for myself. My entire family is covered with life insurance. Um, and then, being in this business and being able to help so many people through this business, through what I've done, I've been able to create a six-figure income here. So, just being successful in the company, applying what the company has taught me, and then working just to show as many people as I can either the opportunity or the with the company as employment, or the opportunity of making sure you at least take advantage of things like life insurance and investments, just because there's not a single person I'm gonna run into ever that's not gonna need something that we have.
Hmm.
So just connecting with as many people as possible. So I've had a really good amount of success. I'm happy. I've been able to help put back the last time I checked, it was $3.2 million back into the community. So
That's awesome.
it
And
is.
that's important to, you know, we talk a lot about doing different things, and but you know, our own communities, to be able to say that the people around us are who we helped, and the people around us are who we've helped financially, or to get themselves in a better financial position.
Yeah.
You know, I remember, you know, at one point, you know, as a Bible college student, we used to joke that we lived on ramen noodles. Like that was it, like just ramen
Rice and
noodles
beans
is
and hot
how. Yeah, listen, just that, and we had an Applebee's down the road from the Bible college I went to in Ohio, and you know, right down from the dorm. So you know, it was half off munchies, and it was true half off munchies. Like anything that was on the appetizer menu was half off after 9 o'clock. You know, so you survived on ramen noodles, and you survived on half off munchies. That was just what we did. You
hmm
know, and that was when I got into credit card problems. You know, I swiped the card and was like, "Ooh, that felt good." And
hmm
oh, and I don't have to
And you
pay
check your
for it
bank
right
account, it's
now.
still the same.
Oh, oh, this is nice. And then the bill showed up,
Yeah.
and they didn't want a piece of it. They didn't want a little bit of it. It was rough. It was
Yep.
rough. But you know, I think that's important, to be able to sit down with somebody, and like I said, even if at the end of the day they make the unfortunate decision of going, no, I don't need these things,
Yeah.
at least you presented them with the information. I think you know, we perish for a lack of knowledge. You know, we don't educate ourselves, we don't know what questions to ask, but to have individuals that are in our community that are willing to present the questions along with the answers is so very important.
Yes.
Now, who would both of you say, you know, it's an individual question, but your who you look at as an inspiration? If you have to name one or two people that are an inspiration to you, who would they be?
You go first, Talina.
Well, I would say Britt is my inspiration because my goal is to be like her or better. So she's one of
Better.
my
You can
inspirators,
be
and
better. You know why you can be better? Because you're younger and you have more time.
right. Thank you. And I don't know who my second person would be. I guess the company, because they're giving me this opportunity to do that, you know?
Okay.
I love
Okay.
it. I love it. I would say my entire team I work with inspires me, but honestly looking at Talina, when I first met Talina, I saw myself, and not like myself now, but I saw me 10 years ago, right? I saw me when I was in my 20s and I had, kids. I had my first kid when I was 17. So I was a teen mom, and I know, I saw the drive in her, and it was just like for her to get it, because I didn't get it at her age, obviously, or I'd be even further ahead. But for her to get it so young, um, it's inspiring. It just lets me know that there's hope. And I know that because she's so young, she can connect with the group of people around her age who this is going to benefit the most, right? Because they're going to be the ones that we need to make sure that we get them to get it, because everyone in their 30s, 40s, they may or may not take advantage of life insurance. In investments, I want them to, but it's really that future generation. Like, if we're going to make the change, we've got to let them know this is the way you need to move. This is how you're going to see success. This is how we're going to get out of all those troubles that we're going with. You need to apply these two things. So I'm excited for her doing that. My other inspiration would be my husband. Um, I watch him stay so dedicated to building his business around sports, and working when in downtime, and making sure that he doesn't get discouraged by things that are going on around him. And I found it to be an inspiration, because sometimes I do get discouraged. Especially
Mhm.
when I'm talking to family who's close to me, and I want to see them make good decisions, and they just don't want to hear what I'm saying.
Right.
Um, it's tough sometimes because I'm so passionate about it, but he tells me, keep that tunnel vision. Those along the way that are in your path, there's gonna be somewhere in your peripherals. Just focus on
Hmm.
keep going forward. So
Okay.
that would be
Okay.
mine.
What would Brittany, what would you say your greatest success is?
My greatest success is being a mother, teaching my kids all the things that I wish I knew, having a head start with them, just spending time with them, you know, just making sure that the things that I felt I lacked as a kid, or information I felt I lacked, or confidence, or just making sure that everything I feel like they need in life, I equip them with.
Okay.
Um, so that's that one area that, if you look, like, if I fail in this area, like, life's over. Life doesn't matter. So that's the one area I have to be successful in, is being a
Okay.
mother.
So speaking about the one area, what would you say currently your biggest failure has been in life? And
Um,
before you answer, let me preface by saying, or clarify, that myself personally, I don't see failure as a negative.
yeah, that's what I was
I,
gonna.
I view failure as a necessity on a lot of levels. So I'm just curious what you would say your biggest failure was.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because, like you said, I look at failure as just an opportunity to learn from the experience and
Hmm.
try to avoid it later. My biggest failure was probably racking up student loans and not finishing school.
Okay.
No, seriously, I would say uh an area I failed in. I don't know.
Okay.
I really can't think
Okay.
of anything.
Talina, what about you? What's your biggest success? Your greatest success?
Um, I want to say my biggest success at this moment, seeing how I didn't graduate and I didn't go to college or anything like that, and getting my license to sell life insurance, and
Okay.
then going to
Okay,
go get my
okay.
security license, and then I'm going to go get more license on after that. So
Hmm.
this is my biggest success right now because I didn't do anything else, and yeah.
So I'm gonna say this for everybody that's watching. Okay, this is I'm not whether you decide to go to college or not, whether you decide to go to a trade school or not, whether you decide to be an entrepreneur or not, Shanika says congrats. Whether
Yeah.
you decide to work for somebody or not, at the end of the day, you got to do what you feel you got to do is. And just because, oh, well, I didn't graduate. Okay, and you
Right.
know what? I mean, you can't dwell on that. You got to move forward. Look at what you did do. You're a mama. You got your, like you said, you got your license. You're selling life insurance policies. You know, you're taking those steps. And not only are you helping you, but you're helping other people. And as you know, I think that that's so important because I think a lot of times we, especially in various communities, we tend to get down on ourselves, or the rest of society gets down. Oh, because well, you didn't live life the way I think you should have lived it.
Mm.
Well, at the end of the day, that doesn't mean you're not successful.
Right.
So I definitely applaud you for that. And talking about, well, I didn't graduate. Okay, so you didn't graduate. Big deal.
Right.
Big deal. Look at what you are doing.
Right.
And I
You
think that's
saved on those student loans that I'm hoping I wish I
right.
would have.
You could have got a $60,000 piece of paper and not do anything with it. Which
Right.
is what a lot of people do. A lot of people go to school, get a $60,000, and that's on the cheap side.
Mhm.
And turn around and not really deliver, or end up making the bad decisions. Shanika says everyone's journey is unique. That's true. Everyone's journey is unique, and that's something that I like about financial literacy, is because even though the basis of the information is the same, its application is unique to each individual and their goals and their circumstances. And you know what? Just because you can't invest, $15,000 doesn't mean you can't start investing. Just because you can't get a $5 million life insurance policy doesn't mean you can't start with a $500,000 life insurance policy. Like, just because it's not a go big or go home. It's a go.
Right.
You got to do something, and you got to do something different if you want to see something change. And if you want some type of legacy, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you got to do something different.
Yeah.
Right.
You just have to, because paycheck to paycheck, that's not going to be beneficial when the rubber meets the road and you end up in circumstances and situations. And I'm thankful for ladies like yourself that are breaking, essentially, I say breaking barriers, but you're definitely making a statement, making a stand, and being willing to help your community where other people haven't. So that's huge, and that's something that I find awesome. So we are getting ready to wrap up a little bit here, but next steps. I mean, like, somebody wants to take a look at the product. Somebody's interested in the business. How would they contact you? What do they need to do? What's the process?
Is there anyone who is listening? If you can hear the sound of my voice and you are not covered with life insurance, or you only have life insurance where it's covered through your job, please reach out to us. Um, Reach out to us. You can contact me. I don't know if you can share my information, but you
I
can
can. I
contact.
can put it in the comments.
Yep, you can contact me or Talina. We work together, so make sure make sure you reach out to us, just because it's so
Do you
important.
have an email that you want me to?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Can I put it? Where can I chat? Put it in the chat.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Where's the chat? Where's the chat?
If not, I can type it in real quick and it'll go on all the platforms.
Okay.
But I was saying that, life insurance, every people, the most common thing I think we hear people say is that I'm covered through my job. And it's amazing when I hear that people are covered through their job, because I'm glad they have some type of coverage. But with your finances, like, would you leave all your money with your job? Like, don't I you don't want to leave something so important as life insurance with your job, just because if you stop working for them, if you're not benefiting them, they're not going to benefit you. They're not going to cover you if you leave their job. And what we're seeing is that so many people are, they're staying covered with their job, and they're staying at this job till they retire, right? Which is amazing. But then we've got 60, 65 year olds going to get life insurance. And now, instead of paying $30 a month because they're closer to their life expectancy date, the price is higher and they're paying $100, $200 for something they could have gotten earlier and saved on. So I always say make sure you have a policy outside of work.
Okay.
Just because there's so many stipulations, they don't tell you it's not included in them as well. But yeah, if you don't have life insurance, definitely reach out to us. If you're looking to get investments started so that you can make sure working your entire life is not a predicament that you have, we put financial plans together for you. You can start investing with us for just $25 per month. So we literally, we have life insurance policies for as low as $15 a month. We've got something for everyone's budget. And we work to put a plan together for you so that no matter what your goal is, we can put together a plan so that you can work to achieve those goals. So
Okay, outstanding. Well, we got both of your emails in the comments right now up on the screen as Brittany's. And then this is Talina's. Like I said, it's in the comments. You can reach out to either one of these ladies if you're interested, have questions, even remotely curious. Start the conversation and get the information, educate yourself so you can make smart decisions. Like I said, this is just kind of a launching pad into future episodes and future series. As we continue to discuss financial literacy, I think it's necessary in the community.
It is.
And, it's too many of us are struggling because we just don't know.
yes, yeah,
We don't know what's available. So with that being said, I want to encourage everybody that's watching. Ty says, great point. He says, thank you, ladies, so much for your time. It's appreciated. And it is. Thank you all very, very much for your time, especially this late. Both mamas, both the little kids, and so I appreciate the time you're taking for the people. And, I know the people watching now and those that'll watch later will as well. But thank you all very, very much. Appreciate it. One more time, big shout out for all you Marines out there. Happy birthday. And a big shout out for Vibe, Voices in Black Empowerment. Cinema States, good night. Hope you enjoyed your night. Hey, those of you that listened to the intro at the very beginning, the very, very beginning, the first piece that was played, that was actually by Black Silhouette. I want you guys to check his music out. We'll have it up here as well. But big shout out to Vibe, Voices in Black Empowerment for kind of setting this up and opening the door for that financial literacy, that financial education. So definitely check them out, Vibe, VIBE 716.org. And we appreciate it. Thank you all very much. You as well, Dr. Harvey. Appreciate that, Ty, Dr. Mayer. Again, thank you all very much, and we'll catch y'all next time on Reflection.